Good morning. Welcome to the Prospective Graduate Students webinar at CEMS, the College of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences. My name is Sanfen Miao, the Assistant Director of Student Services for Graduate Programs here at CEMS. And I'm honored to have Professor Jeff Marshall, the Associate Dean for Research, join us today. Please set yourself to silent mode throughout the webinar. If you have any questions, you can hit the chat button underneath the screen and type in your questions. We will answer the questions at the end of the presentation. In this webinar, we will walk you through the following contents about the University of Vermont, the College of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences highlights, programs we offer, funding opportunities, application requirements, live in Burlington, Vermont, and to the end, we have a short Q&A session. The University of Vermont, established in 1791, is a comprehensive research university with a current enrollment of over 12,000 undergraduate, graduate, and medical students. The scientific and academic environment throughout the university community are dynamic, highly collaborative, and multidisciplinary. The curriculum of the graduate programs at the College of Engineering and Mathematical Sciences adopt an interdisciplinary approach. Our college brings together computer science, mathematics, statistics, data science, and engineering, and the open and active curricula allows the numerous pathways towards desired learning outcomes for our students. UVM currently has 1,755 graduate students, and at CEMS we have 233 graduate students, so it's a relatively small student population, which obviously allows very interactive communication with faculty members and also within the student cohorts. Now I'm turning the floor to Professor Marshall to talk about some key highlights of the programs.
So there's a lot going on at CEMS, and we want to walk you through just a couple of highlights, obviously not covering everything that we do, but a few things that are worth special mention. One of those is the Complex Systems Center, which is really a focal point of a lot of research in the college. The Complex Systems Center is composed of researchers across the college working with systems whose components interact to exhibit emergent behavior of all different types of systems. The Complex Systems Center recently received a designation as a Center of Excellence in Wellness Data Science through a $5 million grant from the Mass Mutual Foundation devoted to advancing study in data science and analytics. The center is also home to a recent $1 million pilot grant from Google to study how team members interact to optimize performance of the team. And we hope that this is a pilot study which could turn into a very much larger center in team performance. Complex systems, as I mentioned, is a theme that characterizes a lot of the activities in the college, as we'll see as we move on. A second center of note is the UVM Transportation Research Center, which is focused on advancing sustainable and resilient transportation systems. The TRC, as it's called, is funded through multiple grants, many from the U.S. Department of Transportation and from the Vermont Agency of Transportation. And it includes researchers throughout the university, many of whom are located in our college, but also we collaborate with researchers in community development and applied economics and other areas across the university. There's a cluster of researchers working on the smart grid and power systems, renewable energy in general, who have received an IGRT grant. IGRT is Interactive Graduate Education and Research Training from the National Science Foundation to advance interdisciplinary research and education in smart grids and renewable energy. This project has led to a number of other grants in the $1 to $2 million range from the U.S. Department of Energy. Many are focused on the topic of integrating renewable energy sources such as solar and wind with the power grid. We also have a relatively new Center for Computer Security and Privacy, which works to advance cybersecurity in modern computer and control systems, and has a particular focus on healthcare and energy systems. And this is one of many connections between CEMS and our very prominent and large College of Medicine, which operates a hospital that's about maybe 50 yards from our College of Engineering. So there's a lot of, we're very close to them. There's a lot of connections between the college and the hospital. There's also a lot of funding in our college from Vermont Space Grant. Space Grant offers a whole variety of graduate fellowships and internships and grant funding opportunities to support scientific research that advances space flight. So this could be things that are directly related to space, such as CubeSat research or landing research for space vehicles, but could also be things such as materials research or flow processes or all sorts of things that you might not have thought, energy research that you might not have originally thought related to space. Space Grant has support to send students to NASA research facilities to work directly with NASA scientists there, either for short trips or for long-term summer internships, which is a really great experience, as attested to by students who have gone. The Gund Institute for the Environment is a university-wide institute, fairly large. It's comprised of 150 or so faculty fellows and affiliates from across UVM, but many of which are in CEMS. And it is focused on research promoting the environment of different types. CEMS faculty in the Gund work to advance topics such as sustainable energy systems, modeling bacteria growth and biofilms, to understanding the mechanics and chemistry of soil and groundwater flow and how that might interact with things like fracking processes or thermal storage. And there's just a whole wealth of environmental problems that would be covered by this institute. So that's just a few of the research centers that we have, of many. I did want to mention a couple of facilities that are available to aid in research. And one of those is the Vermont Advanced Computing Core, VACC. And VACC hosts several different large-scale parallel clusters that are for use by UVM students and faculty. There's different levels of usage depending on how much computation you need to perform on it, but the base level is free to all students and faculty. The upper levels, if you need more, are fairly reasonable and would come out of faculty research grants to pay for that. The VACC has a new cluster called Deep Green that can achieve speeds of over 1 petaflop, which is equivalent to 20,000 laptop computers working in tandem. So very state-of-the-art computational facilities. We also, for experimental work, within the college, we have a fab lab with rapid prototyping using 3D printers. So you can make your designs very quickly and test them. For things made out of metal, we have a prototyping shop with CNC machines for metal machining. Both these facilities are run by professional staff that can help you get your prototypes made quickly. We also work within the university with the IMF, the model making facility, which is a larger machine shop within the university for more complicated type jobs that we might have.
Thank you, Professor Marshall, for sharing the key highlights of the college. There are a number of master's and PhD programs offered here at CEMS. We offer both master's and PhDs in civil and environmental engineering, electrical engineering, bioengineering, mechanical engineering, computer science, complex system data science, and mathematical sciences. In addition, master's programs are offered in teaching, statistics, biostatistics, and engineering management. So for master's programs, there are three different tracks, or let's say options: coursework, project, and thesis. As you can see from the table here, all programs offer coursework option. All programs offer project options except mathematical sciences and mechanical engineering. All offer thesis option except complex system and data science and engineering management. You might be wondering what are the differences among all these different options. So obviously the curriculum will look slightly different. If you go with the thesis option, you're required to complete coursework plus 6 to 9 hours of credits prior to master's thesis defense. And these credits will be counting towards your thesis. And you have to pass a written report and oral defense of your master's thesis till the end of your program. If you choose non-thesis option, there are project options and coursework options available. For project options, you're going to complete required coursework credits and also an additional 3 to 6 credits designated to a graduate project. And coursework option are a little bit more straightforward. You will complete required coursework credits and pass a comprehensive examination by the end of your program. So for PhD curriculum, so as a PhD student, you will be required in most likely in all of the programs, coursework, doctoral comprehensive examination, qualifying examination, and some programs require teaching experience when you're in a program. And lastly, there's a dissertation, so that's a long process that you're going to go through. The detailed programs of study vary depending on the program, and you can always refer to our website or reach out to our faculty members to learn more about the program study and the requirements of each individual programs. And the next slide shows the contact information of graduate program directors of each programs. So if you have further questions about how the courses look like and how the programs are structured, you're really welcome to reach out to them. We're going to share the video on our website later, so don't worry, you can get back to this page later.
For funding, there's a variety of different options. Most graduate students are funded either as graduate teaching assistants or graduate research assistants. If you look at, there's about half and half between those two categories. A graduate research assistant would be funded from the grant held by a faculty member, and a graduate teaching assistantship is funded through the graduate college here. So with the MS programs, the MS coursework and MS project options are not eligible to receive GTA or GRA funding. The master's thesis students are eligible, and the PhD students are eligible. And I should say most of our master's thesis and PhD students, almost all of them, receive some type of funding, usually from one of these two categories. There's also, for all different options, there's a whole host of fellowships that are available, most of which the student would directly apply for. But there's websites that we can lead you to find places to apply for fellowships that would support your research or your studies that you want. For GTA or GRA positions, these are half-time positions, so the usual expectation would be 20 hours per week working as a GTA or GRA, and then 20 hours on coursework. In a 9-month position, there would be, this is tuition remission is available, so there'd be 9 credits of tuition paid for you for each semester, so you wouldn't need to pay for your tuition. You'd also receive a graduate stipend. The amounts differ a little bit depending whether you're a master's or a PhD student, but for the master's student for 9 months, it's $18,000 stipend. For a PhD, it's $20,475. Most of our thesis, master's thesis and PhD students are funded over 12 months because the summer is a very important time to do research. And so for a 12-month position, you'd be funded, again, 9 credits of tuition per semester. In addition, you get 5 credits of tuition for the summer. So students might want to do, for instance, research credits in the summer. And then you receive a stipend, which is a minimum stipend for the college is $24,000 for master's students over 12 months and $27,300 for PhD students. You also, as a GTA or GRA, receive full health insurance. So any questions that you have on that, we'd be happy to answer for you.
All right, so the application deadline, we are admitting students on a rolling basis, but the priority application deadline is January 15, which means if you would want full consideration for admission and funding, it will be the best if you turn in your application to the graduate college by January 15 for fall enrollment. The application materials you need to compile include resume or CV, personal statement, 3 letters of reference, transcripts, which can be unofficial when you turn in your application through the online system. You can upload, unofficial transcript through the system when you apply and have your official transcript sent directly from your institutions to the following email address, graduate.admission@uvm.edu if you are admitted. Other application materials you need to have include language proficiency test for international students and GRE scores for most of the programs. Please be noted that mathematical sciences programs do not require GRE scores. So on the right-hand side, you can kind of see the average GPA for both master's and PhD students, and also GRE verbal and GRE quant average. These data are pulled from the previous 5 years, so you can totally look at them, look at those numbers, and kind of think about like the scores you have right now. So for international students, there is a minimum requirement for a language proficiency test scores. For TOEFL or IELTS test, they have to be taken within the last 2 years. And the minimum scores for TOEFL internet-based is 90, paper-based is 575, IELTS is 6.5. And if you want to be considered for graduate teaching assistant funding, the bar actually gets a little bit higher. So you want to be considered for graduate teaching assistant as an international student, you need to reach a 100 score in TOEFL internet-based test, 600 in TOEFL paper-based test, and 7.0 in IELTS. For sending GRE and TOEFL official scores to UVM, you need to order the test scores directly from ETS and have ETS send your scores to us. Our institutional code is 3920, and there's no department code required. If you have taken IELTS, we do accept IELTS scores. Official electronic IELTS scores should be sent to the following address. Again, we're going to share the video later, so you will be able to get back to this address later. English proficiency test waiver. So please be noted that applicants who have received or are expected to receive an undergraduate or graduate degree from an institution in the United States or a country in which English is the language of instruction and or English is the language of instruction of the institution which will give you the degree, you are eligible for an English language proficiency test waiver. Last but not least, very important, live in Burlington, Vermont. So the university is located in Burlington, Vermont, about 90 miles south of Montreal, Canada. It's 2 hours drive, and it's about 3.5 hours away from Boston. Flight to New York City takes about 1.5 hours. So Burlington is often rated as the best small city in America for quality of living, and it features year-round outdoor recreation and cultural events. Great place to live. If you're thinking about housing, although we don't offer on-campus housing for grad students, there are a lot of resources available that you can look at, including University of Vermont off-campus housing site, Facebook groups, of course, their websites like Craigslist, etc. if you're thinking about housing in Burlington. All right, that's all that we want to share today in the presentation. So if you have any questions, please take this chance to ask. I will be really happy to help you. And also we have Professor Marshall here. You can type in the question in the chat and we're really happy to answer any questions you have. All right, thank you so much for spending the time with us. For more information or to start the application process, please contact me via email, sanfan.miao@uvm.edu. You can also find my contact info from CEMS website. Thank you again for taking the time, and we hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you. Bye-bye.